All right, Coach, you're ready. Go ahead.
Yep, give Mississippi State a lot of credit. It hurts my soul to say it, but it's absolutely out-toughed us the last 12 minutes. Got every 50-50 ball, beat us on offensive rebounds off the free throws, just careless turnovers at the end, but give them credit. You know, we're up 7 with 12 to go, and it's like we couldn't get to a media timeout. They played right through it, through fatigue. It seemed like we got tired and just, they flipped the game in about a 3 or 4 minute period. Then, you know, we come back and we have a wide open layup to cut it to 2. You know, instead of making a physical layup, we kind of, you know, try to avoid contact. But give them credit. I just thought their team, the last 12 minutes, just out-toughed our team. And that was all there was to it. I mean, they beat us to 50-50 balls. They out-rebounded us. Every hustle play they made. And that's just a difference in a rivalry game. And it's too bad for our team that showed up today.
Kermit, you're talking about.
I'm calling you the mic.
I'm sorry. Kermit, you're talking about their guards and kind of how physical they were earlier in the week, but it seemed like with Tolu Smith and Will McNair posing kind of problems at the paint. I mean, where do you see some of those defensive breakdowns, particularly in the second half when you held them pretty good?
It's offensive rebounding. It's offensive rebounding. I mean, Reed, the guard. The guard just went back and got rebounds. When Miles has inside position, he, boom, pops over the top of him. You know, they just went and chased 50-50 balls. You know, they beat us badly in the 50-50 ball game. In the first half, our first shot defense was unbelievable. And it was just their offensive rebounds and 50-50 balls. You know, or we could have been up even as kind of struggling to score against their good defense. You know, so, that was just it. We had some really good possessions of guarding in 13, foul late in the clock. I thought we guarded well. Turned it over, it's hard to guard a turnover, you know, and that's what was happening. And that's how they kind of pushed the game out.
Hey, Kermit, you've mentioned their physicality. What was your take on why it took either team so long to establish itself offensively and really find rhythm in the game?
It's just, I think, too, it's just a rivalry game. It's just one of those deals, you'd love it, but that's just, man, it happens so many times in these kind of games. You know, these starts of everybody's trying to play. Both teams are really guarding at a high level. I thought we guarded at a high level, thought they guarded at a high level, and shots were contested. And I think both teams probably had some good shots that he didn't make. And then, you know, we go up 7, we kind of mix some zone, and 13 in, Parrish, you know, and in a good rhythm. And then, you know, we just kind of gave up some second chance points and some turnovers. And so I think it was just because of rivalry.
Kermit, you touched on the toughness late. Is it more difficult in your view when you aren't scoring to kind of maintain that toughness and that intensity?
Yeah, but they weren't either. We're the team that was up 7. They were really struggling scoring. They were struggling scoring. I thought that we went zone a little bit, made them shoot some perimeter shots. You know, they were struggling a little bit, and then their toughness paid off. They made some shots when they needed to. That's a part of toughness also. You know, so I just think that they kind of plowed their way through some different things. Everybody in college basketball has got to be able, to do that, and we couldn't absorb it today. And I take full responsibility for it. That's my group, and so like it is. I got out tough too. It's not just the players, it's the coach, everybody.
Kermit, what do you tell your team after this? What's the message to the guys heading into next practice?
It wasn't pretty. Because it's just hard when I've been in this rivalry for a long time. I've been in this rivalry like 59 years. I'm 63, and I remember when I was 4 years old. This rivalry means a lot to me. Been on both sides of it. And when you get in a rivalry game, and there's a lot of things that happen in rivalry games, but when you leave a gymnasium and you think that the other team was tougher than you and that's the reason you lost, that is really hard to take. And that's the way I feel right now. So that was the message to our team. Now we'll get through it. We'll get back in the morning, watch tape, some spots up, and get ready for a really good Auburn team on Tuesday. So we'll go next play. But yeah, that's exactly what the message was. And our guys, he knows it. Some of our younger guys don't know it. Matt knows it. Matt's been through it.
Coach, as you just mentioned, y'all are taking on Auburn next week. Started SEC play 0-3, but you've had pretty tough games to start it out. What's the message and going into next week and so on, how you're going to get these SEC wins down?
I know it sounds cliche-ish, but it's just, it's such a long season. We played 2 teams that were, I think, Final Four teams. Mississippi State's been ranked as high as 15th. Chris got a really good team. There are going to be a lot of people in our league, and it's just what it is, and you just got to go through it. We got to get positive tomorrow and go right back to try to correct some mistakes that we had. Play another nationally ranked team, you know, what Auburn's been. But you know what? That's what we all signed up for. We all signed up for this league. We all signed up for it. Matt signed up for it. And if you didn't sign up for it, if you don't want it, you shouldn't be here. You know, so that's what we all look forward to. And a team that Auburn, we've played well. We've played well through the years, but Bruce has got another really good team.
You made the decision to start Theo in this one after a couple of good games, all that. Was some of his struggles kind of related to some of the other stuff that you said with toughness, or where'd you kind of see that matchup down low?
Yeah, he deserved to start, and he just, you know, no rebounds, turnovers. I mean, just, it wasn't a Theo that we've been watching for a couple weeks. So we may go back. Maybe he's just one of those guys that plays better off the bench because he's really been coming. He's had some really good practices. But today, well, he struggled. You know, he struggled. And so we may go back to try to maybe getting him to come off the bench. That may help him.
Matt, with this tough stretch, I mean, where are you at in your head, I guess, with everything that's going on, and where do you feel like the locker room is at, just with how the last few weeks have gone for you guys?
Just trying to stay level-headed, you know, being one of the leaders on the team. Gotta always remain positive because the guys are gonna look towards me when things get wrong. You know, I can't come in the locker room in a bad mood, you know, down, because then it's gonna reflect on the team. And then when everybody gets down in a bad mood, that just makes it worse. So I just staying positive, being encouraging to my teammates, telling them like, okay, we see what we gotta do. We gotta build on this to get ready to fight in this game.
Matt, I think State went on a 33-16 run to end the ball game. I mean, what did you kind of see in that stretch that happened there that allowed them to kind of extend it and run away with it?
Like Coach said, just offensive rebounding, toughness play, you know, really got on the team. We was having an inside position, but that was just rebounding over top of us. That was really the biggest thing. That's why they made that run.